Hey Bible lovers, so in today's video with Daniel of Logos Rebinding and Jon of ICA Bibles, we answered the question of why are rebinds so expensive? I mean, seriously, they can get up into, several $100s, and why would somebody want to pay that much in order to put a cover on a Bible? So they kind of answered that question. Check it out, it's pretty interesting. One of the questions that I get a lot is why are rebinds so expensive? Why do they cost so much money?
The one thing that I find most about this is the material cost is pretty immense if you're wanting to get a quality rebind. You can go on eBay, Etsy, and order leather that is super subpar, and then scrap a rebind out of it for a little bit, a little bit less than what people like Jon and myself might charge. But we definitely trust the leather that we get, and we know that it'll last a long time, and that it's pretty much satisfaction guaranteed on that leather. So the materials is probably the biggest.
Quality vendors, quality material.
Quality vendors, quality material, absolutely. So yeah, I'll pass it to Jon for the next portion of that question.
I said it differs for everyone, but just the most basic rebind and the easiest material, we're still looking at 6 or 7 hours sometimes. And a lot of us do this in our spare time, and we're not looking to work for minimum wage in our spare time. So, you do have to make it worth it. But to touch on what Daniel said, we could be making cuts. We could be saving money here and there, but we only want to use the best materials, because you can already go spend $100 less and get a really high quality factory Bible. You can go get a really nice scholar. I love the scholars, but rebinds are just in it's a completely different topic. They're a thing of their own, and they're available through a wide variety of people who want to do them. So you don't want to take the space of something that's already available. You want to reach the next level. You want to use something that you have complete faith in, and you want to put all the time in it necessary to make it 100%. So that's why the cost is so high. Otherwise, we won't be able to do it.
Yeah,
so that's where it leaves us.
Yeah, it's true.
So if I'm hearing you right, like another aspect to the reason they're so pricey is, number one, the time that you put in is not normal people time. This isn't like pumping gas or being cashier at Walmart. This is highly skilled work for a person with a level of talent. And also it's a person that is making the effort to make sure that every step matters.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
And that the attention to detail. Now, we're not talking about perfection here, because there's no such thing as a perfect Bible. Even if mass produced, there's always going to be little bitty issues. And I think that's another thing that really people need to damper their expectations on, is they expect a Bible that is completely flawless. And then they're upset when you get in the Bible groups and you get these goofy people. And yes, this is going to stay in the video, where they're like, my Bible has this, should I be worried? And it's like, no, you shouldn't be worried. It's not going to be perfect. If you send that thing back 75 times, you're going to find a new issue. And that's not different with rebinds. But what you're getting is you're getting care, you're getting attention to detail, you're getting quality materials, as Daniel pointed out. You're also making sure that everything that you work with is just excellent.
And some things are subjective things. Everybody has an opinion, or everybody has a preference on what they do. And I've got two here. One's got a relatively flat spine, and one's got a fairly rounded spine. That's what I prefer. But we can do them any way. But that's the cool thing about rebinds is, you give somebody your preference, and we're able to do it. And I think every rebinder can attest to this. The time and the money it has taken to hone a craft. You can go cheaper, but we're let's see, how do I put this? I'm paying myself back because I have to.
Yeah, right. One more aspect I'll say too is the options that everybody can kind of offer is another reason why it can be a little more costly. So I could probably get one type of leather for cover, one type of leather for liner, and color, one color for leather one color of ribbon, one color of stamping, and probably charge you a little bit less. My options are going to be very limited. So to offer, as many different options as Jon and I do, and many rebinders do, that definitely is a luxury that I've seen some people differ, to one side of. Jon and I we like to use other types of goat skin, and so that can be another factor to it. So
yeah, that's actually what I was going to bring up. I'm glad you did that, because when I worked with both of you all on the NKJVs, I was very specific in what I wanted. Talked about the red thread, wanted the red liner, wanted the raised hubs on the spine, wanted the gilt lines. I wanted all these features and options. And another thing that you all didn't mention is the cost of the ribbons that you use. Most rebinders, just the industry standard is Beresford ribbons, which you have to order from England. The shipping is ridiculous. You can only buy them by length. You can't just buy a spool of them for $3.
And they're always sold out of the color I want for some reason.
Right. So, the fact that somebody says, well, 5 ribbons. Well, that's going to impact the cost, because I didn't get these at Vatten or at Ribbon Bazaar or whatever. I bought these custom from England, and they charged me by the meter. So I don't think people think about that stuff. And then the thread, it's not like you can go to mom's sewing cabinet and just buy and pick up thread that she hemmed your jeans with. You've got to use the right type of thread. There has to be a thickness. And just to sew these things all the way around like that, I can't imagine the amount of patience. And then the tools you have to buy, things that you all didn't mention, that the investment that you have to make initially in order to be able to do this. It's actually a wonder. I wonder how much a set of custom shoes would cost with all these bells and whistles. I want black shoes with red sweat lines. I want the sewing to be accent red, and I want these bottoms, and it's just like that. But when it comes to a Bible, people have this weird thing about profiting off the Bible. And the fact is, you're not profiting off of a Bible. You're profiting off of your skill.
I personally don't sell Bibles. I'm not a Bible vendor, but I do sell my work, and that happens to contain a Bible.
Yeah.
So,
right. Yeah. So if you want to go buy a $10 Bible at Walmart, then be my guest. And you know what? You can get saved, and you can get growed up, and you can find you a good solid church, and you can get everything you need from that little $10 Bible from Walmart. But what you're paying for is an experience, a journey.
And man, I'll be sad the day that I can't do this anymore, because another aspect of rebinding really is to make these things last. That's the original desire for a rebind. And it's, of course, it's morphed into, how many different sea animals can we fit on this thing? But it's what draws people to it originally is, or birds. Tim's got one with a bird on it. Is the fact that it's supposed to be able to last you for many, many years, and making it something that someone can use for 30 years rather than something that's going to fall apart if it sits in the truck one time, and then you've got to find a whole new Bible because everything's coming apart.
Yeah. And you can nickel dime it your whole life, get you a $30 Bible every couple of years, or you can spend $300 on something that's super quality, that's going to last you the rest of your life.
That's right.
And the thing is, it's all about your budget. Some people can't sink $300 into a Bible. Some people can't afford these high-end quality Bibles. But if nothing else, even like a Zondervan Premier Collection, a Thomas Nelson Premier Collection, those are probably the best that you can buy for that price range, for that like $80 to $120 price range. That's probably about as good as you're going to get, and it'll last you a good long time. So I don't get the fuss, but there's definitely a fuss with people on Bibles being expensive. And I think it's one of the most common complaints in the comments that I get is that, why are they so expensive? They're profiteering. It's like, no, you don't understand. If it was a leather jacket, nobody complain paying $600 for it, because something you want. But for some reason, when you wrap it on top of the Word of God, people get really, really weird about it. So I hope you have a little bit of a better understanding as to why rebinds are so costly. There's a lot of factors that go in there. There's premium materials they only get from the best, from trusted vendors. There is the ability to participate in the process of being able to choose and get custom options. There's just so many things involved in rebinding a Bible, not to even mention their personal skill and effort and money that they spend to get themselves started. It's just a lot to think about. So, yeah, there you have it. Keep calm. Jesus.